Welcome to We Have Issues. I'm Anthony.
And I am Stevie Wildcard.
And every week, Stevie Wildcard and I get together and we do our best to take our best friend, which, I take Steven, he takes me, and we send them back in time to go and protect ourselves or our friend from our issues. We're trying to hunt them down like some sort of soulless robot and to destroy them. We end up sleeping with their mom and becoming their dad. It's this whole thing. Don't ask us the math. But every week we get together and we do our best to overcome our issues and obstacles, and we try to get something done. Most recently, we've been working on a supernatural D&D inspired horror comedy comic called Deathless. We're on issue 3 now. Steven, what'd you do this week? How'd it go?
After all these weeks of successes and victories, I have utterly and absolutely failed this week. Nothing. I got nothing for you.
Zero done?
I got nothing. I got nothing for them. I got nothing done this week.
Okay. Let's make up for this terrible loss by talking about all the good stuff that I also failed this week, Steven. I did very little this week. Steven and I are failures this week. But we failed. Look at us go. We're just a couple of failures failing together all the time. No, Steven.
We're the most successful failures in the world. We fail so well at successful failures.
So this week, we had things going on. Steven had a birthday party. Steven, you turned 37. He's lived 37 years
in a row.
Nailed it. I got to go and see you and spend time with you, and it's always fun. I always love seeing your family and seeing all of them and catching up, and it's fun to do it's really interesting when you don't see people for a while, but you know them well because you've seen them so often throughout your life. It's nice. It's nice when that happens and it's not a funeral. It's nice when that happens when it's not a wedding also, but I
can literally spend any time I want to just talk to each individual if I want to.
Yes. I don't feel like I'm taking anyone's time, and I don't feel like anyone's stealing my time from anything. There's no obligation. I can just hang out and eat some pizza and, just like your uncles will talk to me and I'll talk to them and we'll, catch up and stuff. And it's nice. So that's, I got to spend time with you guys. How did you feel about your birthday? It was
awesome, man.
How is it turning 37?
Great.
Do you feel like an old man
yet?
I'm
feeling it. I feel like my body's been definitely, dude, I've been dealing with like horrendous tendonitis, like tennis elbow, I guess. Ooh. I mean, I don't play tennis very obviously, but I do pavers.
I feel like you have to start. I mean, you have that elbow.
But like all those, it's like all the finger tendons. So anytime I grip something, I can't lift it past a certain point with this arm specifically. So, and then even affects guitar a little bit.
Oh,
like
no.
when a little bit. I've had this before when my job, I just get random tendonitis. It's either in this elbow, this shoulder, or that shoulder. Like that's just how it works. One of them has tendonitis at some point, and they just alternate.
This is our Steven and Anthony, you're aging. Looking us age together in real time. Dude, I also from working retail and just walking back and forth as much, and I used to not anymore because now I work in a one floor store, trademark. But I used to work in a place where I had to go up and down stairs for 10 years. I worked there just going up and down stairs carrying heavy things. So now every once in a while my right knee just gives out. It doesn't work. It's I'm sleepy and I'm oh, don't
boom, just passes out for a second.
And it just stops and I'm oh, I guess I'm hopping now. I'm a hop and this is how I live. And it's not the best. It's not my best form of living. I don't feel like I look cool. I don't pull off any sort of cool lip or anything.
You're not the pogo master or anything.
No, it's not. Yeah, I'm the stanky leg or whatever. I'm just I'm real good at it. No,
Soldier Boy would make a lot of use out of this situation, but unfortunately, I am not him.
So no. I'm just now watch me. Just groan. No, but I totally feel you, dude. I don't have it in my arms, thankfully. But I get that every once in a while.
And it's every job. When I was a server and a bartender and working at a country club and working 50 or 60 hours a week, I would get the hip thing that the tension in your hip, and like where you, that one stretch where if you cross your one leg and push on it, you can feel it stretch. Like I would get that all the time. And then my feet would always like have like arch pain and stuff. So yeah, no matter what you do, whatever your laborious work is, it's gonna attack some part of your body.
You know what I appreciate though, Stephen, about us. You know what I appreciate so far, at least at this point. Although I feel it every from time to time, I feel my brain calming down a little, slowing down a little. I feel like it's calcifying to an extent where I'm like, maybe it's not as maybe I'm not as quick, or just not as naive, or like as quick to make mistakes as I used to be. However, I do appreciate, Steve. I do appreciate that we're still malleable and and creative enough to find ourselves in and out of awkward situations all the time. Okay, and like like every once in a while we I deal with it all the time working retail, where it's like you're invited, you're welcome to into this interaction, where it's like, oh, would you like to engage with this series of conversational bubbles? And I'm like, I would like to pop all of those and walk away, thank you very much. I'll do, like I'm gonna stick to this.
I'm gonna avoid it.
I'm gonna avoid this as best I can. And like that's, I do appreciate that. Like I haven't become the grumpy old man who's like unable to recognize those like opportunities, where I'm like, oh, this could easily be like a challenger has approached, and like I like do battle with this person, but like instead my brain's like, oh, you know what we should do is just keep hitting the B button and back out of this battle together, run away, like not
skip the credits, man. I just want to go back to fighting monsters.
Exactly.
And not this monster in particular.
So in that respect, while I was at your house, Stephen, while I was hanging out with you, so I'm sure everyone who's watching can identify with this at least a little bit. All right, you ever go to a party? I mean, first of all, you ever go to a party? Holy crap! Why do we do this? But Stephen, I love him, so I do, yeah. But when you're around a group of people and you're like, I like most of these people, or I really love a couple of these people, and I would love to really go hang out with that one or that one. Those two specifically, But you don't get the opportunity because you see they're in different groups, you're talking to different people. People are like doing the thing, perusing, all that. I saw you. I was like, oh, it's your birthday. I can't monopolize Steven's time on his birthday. I can't do it. I want to. I want to hug Steven like a koala.
Should have just been you. It should have been just you, me, and Tina in my room.
That's all I wanted. I wanted to just become a little sloth hanging off of Steven's arm, just like a little, just hugging his face. Just like I want to lay eggs in Steven's mouth. That didn't come out right, but I want to be a face hugger, is what I'm saying. So
what part of you is going into my orifice though?
And part of me is coming at you, Stephen. It's where we're having this baby together. It's a xenomorph. It's going to look like both of us, and it's going to be beautiful.
Oh man, champion of the world.
So okay, but I was kind of biding my time. I'm like, I was hanging out. I'm drinking my Kool-Aid. I'm drinking my Oscar Jade, and I'm drinking my
dirt flavored,
and I'm hanging out, right? And I finally see my moment. And I seize it. I'm like, I see that spot in the couch, and I'm gonna go sit next to my best friend because I freaking love him. But I hop, I just run over there. I'm like, and I sit down. I'm like, let's do this. And like, so Steven and I start like talking a little bit, just like enjoying our time. Everyone's there. Steven.
So like, I'm bringing up because my daughter Cambria has been interested in watching the Marvel Cinematic Universe, which is like, okay, cool. You finally like kind of want, is that where we're going, right?
Yeah, it's just so fun.
Is that where we're going?
I jumped ahead mentally. It's just go on.
So like, you need to understand going into this. This is an A and B conversation. I'm just letting Anthony know, hey, I've been rewatching the Marvel Universe, and you know what? Age of Ultron caught a bad rap. I think it's a good movie. I like it a lot. However, one of my favorite mutants, Quicksilver.
Okay, wait. Historically, one of Steven's favorite mutants. Like
historically, yeah.
As long as I have known Steven, Quicksilver has been one of his favorite mutants. So if anyone has any criticisms about Quicksilver at all, to any degree, and are completely valid in them, it's freaking Steven, who is like, I'm like, yeah, of course, like it's one of your favorite characters. If you're not completely happy, please you shower me with those.
Voice your opinion on it. So like, I was like, I'm like, of course, like there had to be a sacrifice in this movie. It was obviously always going to be Quicksilver because of the whole situation with Fox. They needed, one was going to keep one of the twins, but I said my gripe was, and like you all need to understand that I am talking to Anthony, just Anthony. I'm just explaining.
Looking at me. We're looking at each other, just like
my one little tiff with Ultron is of all things to take out a speedster with, even in a sacrifice scenario, they decided to use bullets. And I'm just like, this dude, I was like talking to Ambic, this dude earlier in the movie, he's doing this with the train, he's moving people out, but he can't push Hawkeye and a kid out of the way of a railgun without also getting himself out of the way. Like, I could push Hawkeye and a kid out of the way and take a shot or a car. You know, like, that's like a normal human push.
And
like in an action movie, if someone pushed somebody out of the way that wasn't a superhero, you'd accept that in an action movie.
100%.
Right?
And of course, people watching right now are like, oh, but they're trying to be ironic. And yes, they were. And we are aware of that. And we're having that's part of the conversation we're having. We're literally like, you see,
we're really just like playing with like, why did they do this? Okay, yeah, that does make sense.
Cooler this way. And we're just having this conversation casually with just the two of us as we do. And then Steven. And then someone
decides to dump some chicken bones into an ashtray. Okay.
So as we're talking, we're having an A&B conversation, and the C enters. Which, by the way, it's Steven's uncle just throws a dart into our conversation, just popping the balloon of our popping our mental our dialogue balloons, as it were, just to inject his own opinion of Quicksilver and why.
Yeah, he just yelled. He just bursted in.
He's like, he did the real life equivalent of the, well, actually, I'm like, no one asked for your comments on this thing that wasn't a Facebook post. Like this is not Twitter, like we're literally just having a conversation, and we what, so out of just out of context, like he just pops in saying his bit. And Steven, okay, when it happens online, right? When it happens online, I literally don't respond. I don't respond to people. When people do that, I will mute or block them and just ignore it completely, because I am happy living in the chamber of harmony that I've created. People call it an echo chamber. What it is just a bunch of reasonable, decent people who are having reasonable, decent, fun conversations. And no, Steve and I might not agree on every single thing about Marvel, but we're respectful and kind, and like we care about each other.
And the other one or another will definitely be like, if someone brings up a valid point, it's not like, I'm going to dismiss this because I came in with this argument and I got to win with this argument now.
Exactly.
It's not like that.
Yes, and the only time anything ever gets like that is when we're being playful, like a Superman Goku or something.
Yeah, I literally throw that into the world to troll, because I know it doesn't matter. The writer, at the end of the day, it's the writer.
Yes,
that's the only thing that matters.
And that's how and I think through that intention, we're always harmonizing, even when there's discord. Somehow we find those notes together, and it's a fun conversation, and that's what makes us best friends. And that's why anyone can have a fun conversation, until someone is like, hey, you know how you're singing a song together? What if I threw some bagpipes in there? Not to mention, I've never played bagpipes before.
I gotta comment on bagpipes real quick, because now that you bring them up, I feel like bagpipes are one of those things where someone, if they would have just stood up when the person came up with it, and instead of saying oh wow, that's great, it was just bro, that's a horrible sound. You really shouldn't be working on this thing. This is bad. I feel like this person that invented bagpipes was just encouraged and by someone who didn't like the way they sounded either. And
okay, my favorite thing about what you're saying and bagpipes in general is it's kind of like when you watch a movie and a performance is really, really bad. You have to imagine, Steven, that's the best take. Right? What was this person doing before they discovered the bagpipes? We were no, this is a good change. Whatever, don't do that other thing you were doing before.
Dude, I imagine the end conclusion of bagpipes was, I guess that's what it's supposed to sound like. I feel like when they were inventing them, that was this is as good as it's gonna get with whatever this thing is. This bag that you push air into, and the air that you're pushing into it is actually stored in a pouch. You're actually just blowing future air into it to use later. It's such a weird instrument.
It really is. I mean, and it has its place. And I do like that one bagpipe song that everyone knows, and then everything else that anyone does. And then everything else that anyone does with bagpipes is just not for me, I guess. So we're sitting there and we're having our fun conversation. We're playing along and such. And he throws his dart, and okay, in my head I'm thinking, at first I'm like, oh, he's gonna we're gonna all talk about Marvel and Avengers. And I'll tell you, I did. naively, for the
For a
briefest of seconds, for the briefest of seconds, I thought, this is great. I don't think I've ever had an actual conversation with Steven's Uncle Jason. Here it goes.
He doesn't disappoint though.
So I was like, we got this. And what he did instead was try to argue that
Quicksilver could
like
outrun
Quicksilver
a
could
railgun.
not outrun specifically the
railgun, I think is what he was calling
or
it.
Gatling gun or whatever. Yeah, what he said. Because he said, and I quote, Quicksilver only runs near the speed of light.
Still plenty for a bullet, but go on, Jason. How fast is he thinking bullets are traveling?
How fast is he thinking a bullet is? Okay. So he says this, and Steven, I swear to God, I like muted him after that. Like that happened. He said that, and in real time, I felt myself go, no. Like I couldn't. I just like nope. And I had a whole moment where I was sitting there, kind of like looking at you, and like out of the world. Like I felt like I was just like like I left my body for a moment because I was like, you can't respond. I was like, I can't respond. Steven's mom is right there. I don't want her to get upset. And if I say something to Jason, I'm afraid it's going to like elevate or like escalate or just get worse in some way. I'm like,
that's the fun part about conversations with Uncle Jason is at any point the battle music can kick on. That's
100%. Like, and
it'll just become a boss battle out of nowhere.
Yeah, like, dude, 100%. So I'm listening to you, and I it was so weird because like I kind of felt like as if the world like can't. I was like, no, I can't interact. I can't engage. But Steven's engaging. Oh my God. Okay, I was like, they're getting a little heated, but at least he's laughing a little. And I was like, so I like kind of came to, and it was weird because I was like, wow, this was like the most social media real life has ever been. Like, or just like I really feel like this is like the comment section of something. But then Steven, I'll tell you, like, okay, well, how did you feel in that moment when Jason was doing
well, like so okay, I'm just gonna preface this with, as a Quicksilver fan, the speed in which Quicksilver can travel varies greatly from comic to comic, just like most powers do. For most
depends on the writer, as it almost always
depends on the writer,
which makes it.
I mean, and
yeah,
in House of M, one of my favorite moments is when he was, I think, talking to was he talking to Magneto, and then I think he was working for Doom, and he's like talking to Magneto from Latvia, I believe. Yeah. And he just goes, you need to come now. And he's like standing next to Magneto. Like that was how fast he ran to Magneto. Like it was literally like a second later, which would obviously be somewhere closer to the speed of light because that's crazy fast. But regardless, the movie itself showcased in its own universe how fast he was.
Yes.
I mean, he was able to stop and see the Mjolnir flying by.
Yes.
Mjolnir is obviously flying by very quickly. He's able to look at it and decide to grab it. Like that's how fast he's moving, So this dude can move. And Jason's arguing that, no, you don't understand. A Gatling gun, the first bullet, as it's hitting, the last bullet's already hitting. I'm like, well, that doesn't make any sense in my head. It's like, what? Are you talking about how fast it can fire the rounds and that whatever? Okay. But even still, you're literally talking about visible movement speed. Like this thing is turning. With my own naked eye, I can see this thing turning, and shooting bullets. Right. I can see the bullets leaving the gun. I can't see if Quicksilver's doing any of that.
Nope.
Like this bullet is not faster than Quicksilver, and that's
dude. So So you're and I know I'm biased, obviously, but you're completely on the right side of history with this particular argument. You do, and I'm just watching it, just like, oh man, how do you escape this? And I will tell you, to Jason's credit, I've never been more proud of Jason in my life. And Jason stopped himself. I've never seen this happen. And I was just like, because I'm thinking, oh, this dumb situation is just going to keep escalating. And like, he's not listening at all. Like you could see it. He wasn't listening.
As I'm talking, he's literally looking away and thinking of the next thing he's going to say on why this is faster.
And he was getting himself worked up with his own points. And I was like, this is exactly how the internet works. And it's awful. However, magically, magically, like miraculously, Jason somehow, some way found it in himself to stop and go, "We're tripping." And I was like, and I looked at him and I was like, he's become self-aware. This is amazing. He was like, "We're tripping." And I was like, look, he's putting a lot, like there's that weird.
I want you all to know that say like he included us in that tripping too. I was standing pretty firm, but
no, 100%. I'm going to say that weir was doing a lot of heavy lifting in the like balancing out of like, hey, let's de-escalate this. That happened in his brain. So it was like, it was really fun, but like I was impressed because I was just like, yes, he is kind of also including you or us in this weird blame, you know, for it, when he was clearly the one that was escalating it in this weird way. But he did stop himself, and I was just like,
and he did a bid. He bidded peace.
Yeah,
and did. Peace was obtained, and everything was fine. And then
we
all laughed.
I was so happy. I was just like, my first real conversation with Jason was a complete success as far as the conversation with Jason.
You all need to understand that I once called him Sully Erna. He pursued me as if he was going to end my very life. So these are the odds that we were up against in that moment. And
anything could have happened, dude. It was
Jason or one of us rolled a nat 20 and everything ended up okay.
Yeah, it was pretty funny though. And I honestly, like all in all, I think that whole party went really well. I got to talk to Brandon. I talked to your dad for a second. I talked to, you know, both your uncles, and you know, it was really cool. It was nice to see everyone. It's always amazing to see Tina. A small child that I've never met held my hand, which was really cute, and I was just like, this is happening. And it was just cute.
Oh, that was so cute. Yeah, that was so adorable. Dustin, this whole thing.
Yeah, that was so cute. And I was just like, well, this is where we are now. And then he wanted to walk around with me, and I was like, I'm not doing anything else. And I would not. It's like when a child hands you a banana, you answer that banana, you know, like. So, but yeah, that was good. It was a good day.
Yeah, just for those listening, my nephew Dustin, the sweetest little boy ever, but he is autistic and like nonverbal autistic, and he's not like, he doesn't have like any issue with strangers or stuff like that, but like he doesn't really touch people like that randomly. So it was really cute to see him just like hold your hand and like trust you. He must have smelled the colony on us.
It's true. I don't know what it was. Honestly, I mean, that kind of thing happens to me a lot. Like it's one of those, like, I don't know. I'm sure a lot of people, it's like pets, you know, some people are like really good with pets, and I'm just like little
people. Their children can definitely sense like positive vibes. You know what I'm saying? Like, so.
But yeah.
So just so you know, the reason why we got 3 Dominoes is because Dustin loves pizza, and we just and like sometimes he will like legitimately, like, this kid will put back 7 or 8 slices. So we didn't want him putting back 7 or 8 slices of fancy, you know, Long Island Brothers pizza. So let's get some Dominoes, and then he can like just go to town on Dominoes if he wants.
Oh, that's awesome.
That's why there was 2 kinds of pizza there.
Oh, dude, I was so thankful. The pizza was delicious. But dude, so otherwise, I did that, and then this week it's, man, okay. So at my work, I work retail. For those of you who don't know, I work at a craft store, and recently they've been threatening us, but with the robot uprising. You know, they've told us, you know, the self-checkout's coming. Be prepared, it's coming. We're gonna usher all the customers into the self-checkout, you know, new future. And really, it's like, you know, blatantly obvious to everyone, or at least, you know, it is to me, that, you know, they want me to train the general public to do my job, so then they can fire me, and the general public will then train their, you know, kids and so forth, and that'll just be the future where there is no, you know, there are no people behind the counter doing things, which is interesting. It works in some places, I'm sure, but in a place like my work, I can see it. Like I knew, I was like, this is gonna be dreadful. It's gonna be terrible. No one's gonna be happy. It's a catastrophe waiting to happen. It's gonna be chaotic. Cats and dogs living together, anarchy. You know, and I know that because I've worked there for so long, and I've worked retail in general for so long. But like I know that the general, you know, the average consumer, at least in the craft store, has at least 700,000 questions and issues every 2 minutes. People come up to me and they're constantly in like search of coupons and not believing any particular price or not having a tag on whatever they bring up. And there's always something that they need, or they're doing a return or exchange, So it's like there's almost always some necessity, for a human, or of a human. So it's like, well, this is gonna be weird, So it started today, Stephen. It started today, where they brought in the bots. They brought in the robots this morning, and they are a nightmare, Stephen. I am John Connor now. I am 100% like wanting to send my best friend back in time to go murder all the robots and like save my. I like just, oh my God, save me. Like I want.
It's literally, it literally sounds like to me what's going to happen is one cashier is now going to have to handle 4 customers coupon question price issues at the same time.
That's exactly,
and a bunch of disgruntled customers all at once.
Okay, so
that's what it sounds like.
That's what ended up happening today. So today, for instance, I did exactly what I'm supposed to do, where I usher people. I offer them the opportunity, if they're paying with a card, to use one of the new self-checkouts. Cash, I'll help you over here. So people would go to the 3 self-checkouts. Each of them would have some issue, and I'd have to find my way to them one by one, doing my best, Whereas if I were just standing at the cash register doing my job, there wouldn't even be the line of 3 people to begin with, because I would have finished the first person before the second person arrived. That's how quick it normally is at my job. Like there's almost never a line. And when there is, it's a small rush during lunch or whatever, so I could already see that it's just this weird cluster cuss of nonsense. And I understand it insofar as like the corporate greed. And like I imagine that what they're trying to do is cut down on like the human like the empathy mode that we fall into, where I'm just like, yeah, when I see like a cute old lady who comes up and she's just like, I really just need this one skein of ribbon or this one skein of yarn, and it's $14.99. And I'm like, well, ma'am, we do have this 20% off coupon I'll give you, because if I know you don't have the ability to go on this smartphone and navigate all of these things and mess with the Wi-Fi that doesn't work properly in the store in order to find these particular coupons. So I'll navigate those things for them. A computer won't do that. A computer has no heart, so the computer is just like,
computer don't care.
Yeah.
Computer don't play that shit.
If she dies, she dies, so yeah, so like I think like I'm imagining what
Gators bitches better be paying full price.
Exactly, yeah. So they're hoping that they're going to cut out my my wages with and everyone like me, which means that's going to be a significant amount of profit back into their pocket, and then it's going to be, they're going to cut out all of the like empathy wages that they're losing from people who are giving the coupons that are readily available to anyone who's capable of navigating the various like technologies of the day. However, that isn't the general like demographic of the store, and they know that. And it's just like, that's what drives me crazy, where I'm just like, they know that they're putting 20% all around the store, but the average person that shops there isn't capable of finding that 20% off. So they're going,
and we're talking about a store that already charges 400% when most of these things cost. Like not everything in there. There are things that are reasonably priced there, but
yeah, dude,
there were some things that made no sense. The price, like,
and they do it deliberately, and it's all a big, like, it's all a mess. And I understand they have to keep the doors open, but there's also like, I don't know, everyone here is aware of like corporate greed and how the CEOs and such will show record profits and have bonuses while everyone else just kind of suffers from
labor, bro.
Exactly.
Tale as old as time.
Tale as old as time. It's so it stinks, and dude, and I was dealing with that today, and like, to make matters worse, Stephen, you want to know, like, okay, so I'm gonna blame your kids specifically. No, I'm kidding. But Atlas started getting sick yesterday, like out of nowhere. Like I think it was school. I don't know. It might have been. It's like, who knows, But like he came home and he was like, came home from school like congested, and I was like, oh no, maybe it's just allergies or something, dude. This morning I woke up and he's just coughing like crazy. He's dripping from his face, and I felt so bad because I was just like, as soon as he was, when I went in his room, he was laying the opposite way on his bed, like curled up, and I was like, oh God,
like he was already.
like he's out of it. Yeah, like he must have been waking up and like like having trouble breathing. I've had the humidifier on last night for him, but like, dude. So like he woke up this morning and I was just like, all right, I'm gonna check to see if he's hopefully he's okay. And it was just, a sinus, just like allergies or whatever. He's coughing like crazy and he was
Oh.
warm. And dude, I felt so bad because he started waking up and I was like, why? Like I was just like not at him, but I was just like, why? It's the very first day of this new self-checkout thing. And I'm the one who's supposed to be up front, like, coordinating all this or like helping, being up there, as that person. And I was like, if I call out today, they're going to be so mad at me and they're going to think that I did it intentionally or something. Like it's going to be some drama. And I was like, I don't want that.
Yeah, because they never no, like it's such a weird dynamic, but work never believes you. It's so weird. Like you're supposed to call out when this and this and that. But every time I call out when I am this or that, it's
yeah, they freaking gaslight you. But it's true, they really do. They're just like, yeah, oh, I'm sure
they really do.
I'm sure your son's, and you always feel that, even when it's like they do that. There's they do the passive aggressive. Oh, great, fine, yeah, we'll see you tomorrow. Like one of those where it's like you hear it, and you're like, oh, I don't want to hear this at all. What I want to hear is, I hope your son feels better. I'm so sorry you're going through this. Like we got this. I'm on it. Anyway, so like I was like, crap, I don't want to call out because I don't want to deal with that. So I was just going through it, and thankfully, Atlas's mom was like not working until later or whatever, so she was able to come and get him, and I was like, yes. But then it was like I was stressing over not missing a day in which they're going to replace me with a robot.
So wild.
Of all the days, I should be like, they got
what
this.
Did they do to us? What did they do to us?
But like, dude, it's so annoying, dude. I don't know. I'm trying
self-checkout at a craft store with first person's name, bro. People already like steal from that place like crazy. If you think self-checkout is a good idea, like
so many,
that's the nail in the coffin for that company. I assure them.
No, there's something going on. Like there's something going on with it. It's very suspicious because anyone who would pay any amount of attention would recognize how bad of an idea it is. And I don't want to talk about it for too long, but just imagine for a second, you're talking about a company that sells open stock pens, pencils, and paper, like of all various types with all various SKUs and barcodes and such, right? So when I get a stack of paper, which happens every day, right? I get a stack of papers. Now, if you want inventory to be on the up and up and like decent and actually be able to order what you want, you have to scan each individual one so the computer knows exactly what's sold and what hasn't. You think these people are going to go through that? No, they're going to go, I have 12, and they're going to scan 12 times.
Yep.
And then we're never going to know what we actually have in stock. They're never going to know what's going on. And then they're just going to steal, But anyway, it's just it's a big mess, dude. It really is. Speaking of robots, Steven, let's talk about something fun for a second, okay? Okay. Historically, Steven, as you know, and I'm sure a lot of our viewers know, I like to talk to the robots on the social media. I enjoy it. I appreciate it. It's the closest I get to dating, Steven. I don't date anymore. No, like I'm not out there. I'm not like out on the prowl. Maybe I should be. I'm not gonna. But what I will do.
Single again, back on the prowl.
Yeah. Okay.
Robots be wary. He's getting you now.
That's pretty good. So, but lately I've gotten no action, Steven, both in my real life and my computer datey, like the robot life. And I was just like, what do I do? What do I do? I'm getting no love. But then, Steven, a miracle from above, just the one dropped into my lap. And I was like, do I really want to like miss this opportunity to become best friends with Keanu Reeves? And the answer is no. I do not want to miss that opportunity. I'm going to always become best friends with Keanu Reeves every time he tries. So, Steven, this time we should call it Anthony Dates Keanu.
Welcome to another episode of Anthony Dating Robots. But this time it's not about dating or banging them. It's about making a cool friend in Hollywood. So Anthony is pursuing a friendship with Keanu Dracula.
Okay. So Steven, that was a really good theme song. For those of you joining us for the first time, Steven sings that theme song just like that every single time, no matter who
verbatim,
verbatim, no matter like who the celebrity is or who the robot is. This time, I was just on social media, just hanging out. I got a new follower. It was the Keanu Reeves, and I was like, wait a second, you can't be Keanu Reeves. I'm Keanu Reeves.
I am
Keanu Reeves. So I started a Keanu Reeves Twitter account a long time ago just to have fun, and like, it was like a silly parody account. I was like, all right, you think you're a better Keanu than I am? Let's do this. Let's have this conversation. I'll talk to you. So I did. And this is what happened. Steven, would you like to be me or Keanu?
I feel like I'm going to be you.
Okay. So Steven's going to play the part of me. I'm going to play the part of Keanu Reeves 16737. So Keanu, he belly flops, he jackknifes, he dives just head first right into my DMs, just unwelcome, but fine.
He dove in like he killed his dog.
He did. He's coming after me. So he says immediately, no hi, no pleasantries. He says, well, he does say, it's my pleasure meeting people and also getting to learn more mostly. I think that's me for you.
That's a rough sentence. Bro.
That is.
I learned nothing from that sentence.
Now, so then he says, hope we can be a good friends. I also believe you must have heard little about me.
I'm confused. We've been friends for a long time, Keanu. I thought this was just a new account or something. We talk on your @ReevesDude account all of the time.
I understand your concern, but I assure you that you're talking to the real me right now. I can't control what others may be doing, but I'm here to chat and connect with you.
So are you saying that the other Keanu was lying to me? But we shared so much. I told him everything.
Yeah, sure. I can't control people's actions, but I am happy to have you as my fan. Thanks for always watching my movies. May God continue to bless you.
I confronted the other Keanu, and he said that you're lying to me. What do I do? Will you talk to him?
So then he sends me a picture of Keanu, just like looking at the camera, like as if to say, like, look, bro, this is me. You're talking to the Keanu, the one.
Yeah, that's him. Will you talk to him and tell him that you're the real Keanu and not him? I mean, he looks just like you.
He is trying to impersonate me, and you have to block him. I just think, wild. Yeah, right. I just think, I don't like saying that, but I feel sometimes is that it would be so sad to also hide my identity. But well, I think I would like to get to know you more if you would give that chance to get to know this special individual that I was chanced to meet by destiny. Okay,
but he's one of
David, is this someone speaking like voice to chat and like they have an accent, so it's just raw? Like, I don't understand how it's happening, but
I don't know what's happening. There's a lot of extra words there every time.
Oh yeah,
but he's one of my best friends. I told him all the things I would ever want to tell Keanu. Could you just talk to him and could catch you up, and he could catch you up on everything?
So
here's his profile.
Yeah, so I sent a link to the profile. What I was trying to do, Stephen, was get him to message me as Keanu so we could have a Keanu versus Keanu fight. I was like,
oh man,
like if like I'm still talking to this Keanu, by the way, like spoiler alert, and like I will make this happen. I'm gonna get him to talk to Keanu sometime. Anyway, so I said, here's his profile. He says, "No, my friend, you need to block him. He is trying to impersonate me and get to own my fan badge too." My name, and by the way, this gets so weird. He's like, my name is Keanu Charles Reeves. I am Canadian actor, director, producer, and musician. I gained fame for my starring role performances in several blockbuster films. I'm 59 years old. I'm a Christian by religion, but I'm single. I was born.
He's literally just
like, he's like, Hey Siri, tell me about Keanu Reeves. Keanu Reeves is single, and like, what? Come on. He was like, I was born 2 September 1964. I added you from my webpage here.
But that's what he told me. How do I know? Tell me something only Keanu would know. The other Keanu is mad at me. I need your help. Do you have those John Wick guns?
So then he goes on and he answers me. He's like, I'll tell you something that only Keanu and Siri could tell you. My dad left me when I was 3 years old. My dad struggled with dyslexia, which is
Pretty. I don't want to laugh at it.
no.
But I do want to laugh.
Struggled with dyslexia is good. I attended different high schools before dropping. My best friend died of a drug overdose at 23. My girlfriend, by the way, like, I'm sorry, he's about to say some terrible, sad, traumatic things that happened in Keanu Reeves' life. And I'm just like, why? So I'm just gonna say, okay, so he talks about bad things. He says his ex died, and then he's like, even with this hardship, I didn't let my success and hard work get to my head. I always worked hard and stressful excellence. That's why I am the true version of myself. Just block him. He's trying to impersonate me. Why is it talking to you anyhow, and also getting mad at you? Do you have a fan card to show me that you are my true fan?
Talking to me because we've been friends for 3 years. He messaged me out of nowhere, just like you did. I thought he was the real Keanu.
So then he keeps bringing up this fan card. So I Googled it and I was like, oh, this is a thing that like scammers do. So if you ever talk to one of these Keanu Reeves scam accounts or bots or whatever, they try to get you interested in this fan card, because if you pay a certain amount, you get a card, and Keanu Reeves might visit you at some point. And it's so interesting. And obviously, unfortunately, people fall for it. It happens. Like, it really does happen. So he says, do you have a fan card to show that you are my real fan? Have you attended my event or show before?
Yes, I bought a fan card from the other Keanu. It was $550.
Can you show me the card?
He told me to never show anyone the card because if they read it without paying the fee, they'll die in 7 days. Can you show me your card?
So he writes, lol, how is that possible? And you believed it? Did you receive the card?
He sent me a card, yeah. I showed my mom and she died. My dad didn't believe me, so I showed him. He died too.
It's fake, my friend.
Then who killed my parents? Did Keanu Reeves murder my parents?
I don't know who the hell the guy is, so stop talking to him. He's dangerous. So he sends me a picture that's a poor Photoshop of Keanu Reeves holding a fan card.
The hand is totally not Keanu's hand.
Oh, it's 100%.
But he lied to me, and he killed my family.
This is an example of my card that one of my fans, and no one dies after getting my fan card.
That's a pretty good line.
Pretty good line.
I gotta give it to him.
Right? He says, please be very careful and don't get to talk to him anymore.
I love that you photoshopped.
Dude, so I photoshopped a picture of me holding the card. And
I love that it's the same hand.
It's the same hand.
Yeah.
So I photoshopped the same hand.
I have that one too. He said if I paid an extra $800, I could have 3 of them.
He is a liar. You can just get it with $300. I wish we could meet sometime soon.
You're saying you could get me a new one for $300? But I gave the other Keanu all of my money. Will you talk to him for me to get it back?
I don't even know that person you're talking about. Please be very careful. He's dangerous. You need to work things out and stop talking to him too. I respect myself so much.
If I start a group chat, will you confront him for me? I'm just not brave like you. I'm no John Wick.
I would love to, but it's beyond my privacy. Especially you said he killed your parents. So you should be very careful and stay safe.
This dude's a little worried.
A little concerned.
I don't know who this other guy is, but he's obviously better at this card selling game than I am.
He's getting more money. He's like, I only have. It's like a Deuce Bigelow thing. Like, I normally ask for $5. He's like, wait, you got $800? I asked for $3. And no one dies. What's he doing?
What should I do? I've never killed anyone before. I mean, I kind of killed my parents, but that's only because nothing happened after 7 days and I couldn't let anyone call my best friend a liar, you know?
So he goes, okay, my dear fan, but please be very careful out there.
if I get rid of him, will you be my Keanu?
Definitely, Anthony. You have my words. I promise you. I will definitely want to be your best friend too, and your only best friend. So you can tell me more about yourself.
Okay, so I've killed 2 parents. I'm going to kill at least one Keanu. What else would you like to know about me?
Wish to know you as a friend, if you don't mind. Are you married or single? What is your name? What is your religion? What do you do? What you do for a living? How old are you?
I am married to my work. My name is Anthony. You know that. My religion is the one true religion. I live
Oh,
for the Keanu world order.
that's fine. It's really nice getting to know you better.
Are you going to give me missions? My last Keanu gave me missions all the time.
What what kind of missions did he give you?
This guy's like jotting down, like
Yeah, he's like this guy's so good at this scamming.
he's like telling his boss, like, I'm telling you, man, the Keanu game's getting wild. Like this secret missions.
I don't understand. What is secret missions? What did he tell you?
Oh, I could never betray his trust. He may have been a lying, manipulative, fake Keanu, but he's dead now. So on to the next Keanu. I know you'd never betray me.
I don't understand you. What are you talking about?
You wouldn't betray me, would you? Because there are a lot of Keanus around here. It would be a shame if I had to go through 2 in one day. Is that how it ends?
That's how that one ends. Okay, so like I stopped talking to him for a day, and I was just like, "This is too funny. Like I need to like I'm gonna pace myself with this." And I was like, "This is too funny." But then he messaged me back, and it keeps getting crazier and crazier. So next week we'll do part 2 of this
Part
Keanu.
2 to the Keanu.
Dude, Keanu Boogaloo.
Dude, that's great.
Dude, it's so ridiculous because like you can tell it's a real person who's almost like I got one, like what you said, well, you guys are gonna believe this. I actually have I have a sucker on the line, like is it like a group? Is it like it's a group? It's like 7 guys all around like one phone, like say this. What missions? What do we tell the others? I want to know if like there are other people getting messages being like, yo, you have to give us $800 now.
Now, we know what the Keanus are charging.
I know what it's worth. I know what I have. But yeah, dude, that was like so funny. I was so happy when that happened. Like when I started getting those messages because I was like, finally, I get to like have fun with these scammers again, and they're responding in fun ways. And like, I'm ready. I need more. I need more. And it also just like it makes me feel less inclined to care about dating or anything like that because I'm dating robots again. I have Keanu Reeves.
Dating Keanu. He's got Keanu Reeves on the hook right now, man. That's crazy.
I mean, come on. But otherwise, dude, I didn't get much done this week. I was like thinking about the movie a lot this week, and I was trying to figure out like the best way to do it. And we kind of talked about it a little bit. And I was like, I really do think that the best thing to do is just to use a lot of the fix like a lot of the updates to the script, but kind of like whittle it down a little into like a nicer, better, funnier short film. And I think if we put it on Kickstarter as a short film, but have like Fowler gave me the idea. He was like, well, you could just easily do like put it on Kickstarter as a short film, but just have a stretch goal be like the feature film if you happen to reach this amount, which would be great. That would be so cool. So I think we're just gonna I think we should just do that, where it's like we'll ask for a reason.
That way you can ask for less.
Yeah, well, we can ask for
it's not a feature.
Amount. Yeah, we don't need quite as much stuff. We don't have to do quite as much. And so we can still make a really good short. I mean, it started as a short, and honestly, it's improved a lot. Like for like all the comedy stuff and like a lot of the jokes. A lot of the jokes have improved a lot, and I think it's a lot tighter and funnier now. So I think it'll really work as a short if it has to. I wish it could be a feature, but honestly, I think making a short will kind of instill a new confidence. It'll get us, interested, and we can, submit it to conventions and festivals and, different places. And that'll give us opportunities to, and like, who knows, we might then be able to, eventually get the funding for a feature if that's in the cards. But Steven, we're on episode 191 right now, right?
Ooh.
What if for episode 200, we do a live show and we launch the Kickstarter live for episode 200?
That sounds good to me, man.
I feel like that's like a cool, like, look, we're doing it. Episode 200, we're gonna do a fun live show. We can have guests on if you
It'll
want.
almost be like back in the day, like when they used to do like the call, like donation
Yes.
fundraisers. Like
Yes.
it would have like that vibe.
Yeah,
We
dude.
could do
And
performances.
yeah, I mean, we exactly. And like, I mean, we could read the script, or we could like just hang out and just like we can have, if anyone who wants to be involved, who's going to be in the movie, or who is interested in being in the movie, can come on and like talk to us and stuff. And like that would be fun, Like I think it would just I like and who said who was it? Daly said, we're lowering the stakes a little, and it's true, we are, for our vampire movie, but that's, I think it's the appropriate thing to do. I don't want to get overly ambitious and ask for way too much and not be able to meet the goal and then get like discouraged. I don't want that. Like I'm at a place where I want to set reasonable goals that I know we can meet and try to over deliver as much as we can, so like I want to, like, yeah, I want to aim for making a short film and then just do our best, like give the best short film we can. And also while we're there, a lot of it is conversational, so really we'll see what it takes to turn it into a feature under any circumstances.
You know what's funny about Stakeout is it could easily be the prequel or the first movie before we start hunting magicians. Like we get a taste for it, we realize that vampires are real, then we start noticing trends with magicians, and then the magicians like
it really could. Initially this was just part of like an anthology of different monster or just vampire stories that we were, thinking about telling. And I thought, I thought it would be a cool idea to make a short film and then like in the future write another short film and kickstart that. And then once you have 4 of them, you put them together as an anthology, and then you have a feature. And like that's it. Like it's simple, it's the easy
vampire grindhouse, baby.
Exactly. And I think that it's like a vampthology, and I think that would be fun. We could easily do it. I have like, between the two of us, we have a billion ideas for everything, and I feel like we could pull it off. But yeah, so I think doing it as a short film is really smart. I think it would make sense, and I like the idea that we already have it written as a feature that I really like. So if we did reach that goal, it would be easy to translate it into that feature. Like we can make it happen.
Also having the feature script ready too is if it is just a short film, we can send short film with script to maybe some studios or something like that too. Like we would have
100%. 100%. If anyone ever shows interest and is like, hey, what else do you have? I'm like, well, we could turn that, thing that's hopefully, successful into, a feature. And there is so much precedent for that, dude. Like if you've never seen, there's a movie called Thunder Road by Jim Cummings. It started off as a short film. It was literally just like him giving like the eulogy at a wake, just like talking. And he won, Sundance and all this stuff, and then he got the funding for a feature, and like basically made the short film the beginning of the feature, which is really cool.
That's awesome.
And like, yeah, and like that happens it happened with what's that movie? Remember the vampire movie with, oh my god, Dave Foley's in it, and something Inc. What is it? Oh, come on, hang on, I want to think of this. I don't want it to leave my freaking brain. I know you know what it is because we watched it together at some point. It was a long time ago though, so you might not remember. Do you remember they're on The Office together and Nether Beast Incorporated? Okay. You probably, I don't even know if you remember that because it was so long. Okay.
So long ago.
So there was a movie called Nether Beast Incorporated where they did that also. They made a short film and it was just like in an office, and it turns out they're vampires, and like everyone in the office is a vampire, but they don't really act like vampires. It's really, silly. And but then they made a whole movie of it, and it's just like there's so much precedent for it. There's so many versions of that have happened. I can just see that like it could be a reasonable avenue for us to explore, like I don't see why not. And worst case scenario, we just have a really cool short film that we got to hang out and make, and I think it'll be fun. It's just another cool thing to have, and I'm excited for it. So you're on board with episode 200 being our launch? Like we can,
yeah, that's cool.
That gives me, figure what, 9 weeks. We get 9 weeks to put together, to finish up this Kickstarter, shoot a video for it, get it all ready, get the pre-launch up in the next, like, I guess like month, by the end next month, we'll get the pre-launch up so people can like sign up, and then I'll just hit that freaking button when we go live, and just hopefully the numbers.
Live.
No, we'll be live. but we're not there yet. We have ways to go before that, and we have a lot to do in the meantime. Steven, speaking of that, what are you going to work on this week?
Back to full force on the comic. This weekend, I am going out of town, but I should be able to get some stuff done before I go. And I'm bringing my iPad with me. Whenever we go on the little staycations, I usually have, I'm up early no matter what day of the week it is. So
yeah, for sure, dude. I'm going to try to write 3 pages of issue 6. That's my like, I'm not trying to like, kill myself with it. I'm also I have to start, I'm doing this editing thing for someone, so I have to start reading that. I'm gonna try to do at least a few pages of that and like get some editing done. But yeah, so I'm gonna write 3 pages, try to edit a few pages, and that's pretty much it. I might I'm gonna play. I've been plugging away at the Kickstarter for the movie a little bit, because it's like every once in a while I get excited and I'm like, okay, what else can we add to this? What do we do? And like, it's kind of
up a bit.
Yeah, I do, because it's kind of fun to think about. It's like, all right, what would people be interested in? They're only like, the thing I don't know is like, I figure out how to make Blu-rays if people want that, or DVDs if people want those. I might just focus on one. Like maybe we'll just do Blu-rays of the, because I feel like that's kind of taken over, right? Like I don't know. Like most people don't even do physical media anymore. So I'm like, does it even matter? Maybe we shouldn't do any physical media, but I know some people want some. So like,
I like physical media.
I like physical media, especially if it's like something cool and like indie, like I want to have it. So like, let me know. Let us know in the comments below if like how you feel about physical media, if you prefer a DVD or a Blu-ray or anything like that. The ideas I've had so far, like shirts, of course, posters of the posters of the poster of the movie, like the cover of the movie, and then like signed scripts, and then like credit in the movie. Maybe if we can, like, I there are a couple scenes where we can get away with like cameo pictures, but that's a little tricky, but like we can get away with it, like there are a few scenes, and there are ways. But yeah, so like and of course like credit in the movie, and like executive producer credits and associate producer credits and that sort of thing. So like I have those ideas, but like if you think of anything else, if anyone out there is like, I really wish you had like a freaking pet rock for this campaign, I'm like, I don't know why, but I will.
I love pet rocks.
Love pet rocks. I don't know why. Like it just doubles as a weapon, like it's like a sick 'em. You just throw the pet rock at people. but let us know if you have any ideas. Otherwise, thank you all for hanging out with us. Thank you for listening. Thank you for supporting us, and suffering through our Keanu conversations or whatever we did in this episode. I hope you know that we love you and we really appreciate the heck out of you. We hope you're having a good week, and all the stuff that you're working on is actually getting done to the best of your ability, and you're not I hope that your issue Terminator hasn't murdered your parents, But Steven, what would you like to say to the people?
Thank you all so much for tuning in every week. I appreciate each and every one of you. I hope you all have wonderful weeks, and I love you.
That's right.
Deeply.
But how deeply, Steven?
Keanu levels of deep.
That's right. But thank you again. You're all amazing, and we hope to see you next week. I'm Anthony.
I am Stevie Wildcard.
And this has been We Have Issues. See you next time.
Ba-boom! I don't remember what I did last week. That's a new one now, apparently.
We're going to do a new boom every week. Stay tuned for the next boom. Previously on Steven Does a Boom. Why, Steven? Why?
Boom! Boom!
Boom. All right.
It turned into like a cool bean situation. Boom, 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 boom.
Yeah, by episode 300, we're just gonna have like a super mega cut of you doing booms, and like everyone's gonna be like, can you imagine that being someone's first episode? Just like, oh, what is this We Have Issues thing? It seems to have 90 views. I'll check it out. And then the boom, 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 Pepe Le Boom. Stop. All right, dude.
I love you, dude. Good luck.
All right, thank you. Love you, dude.